This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Good morning on this wet Thursday morning. My guest, he's on his way. I know he doesn't like to sit in on with me when I go crazy, but State Representative Charlie Myers from the 108th State Representative District out of Oakville. He'll be on his way to talk to us, so stick around because you'll get some good information. You'll be enlightened, unlike when you listen to me. But Charlie Myers, our special guest again, State Representative from the 108th State Representative District out of Oakville. He'll be here to talk about Murray Center. I know that's near and dear to his heart. We'll be talking about the conceal and carry laws. We'll be talking about some construction going on in Mascoutah that people are touting Charlie for getting it done. And we're going to talk about the Sparta shooting complex and anything and anywhere Charlie wants to go. So he'll be with us momentarily. So stick around. Let's get done with our community service. And then I want to get in Belleville for a minute or two. Hog Pit Barbecue, Patriots Day, remembering 9/11. It'll be held on September the 12th. There'll be a flag-raising, prayers, 21-gun salute by the Grafton American Legion Post 648. Patriotic music all day, food and drink specials. All the veterans are welcome. Everyone's welcome to come out and celebrate 9/11. Our good friends in Freeburg, St. Joseph Catholic Church in Freeburg, Illinois, a great little town. Friday and Saturday, this Friday and Saturday, September the 11th and 12th. A fish fry on Friday, music by Turnpike Cruisers. It'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. Saturday, chicken dinner from 4 to 7 p.m. Fried chicken, all the fixings. Music by the Freeburg Big Band. They're going to have quilts and bingos. They always, St. Joseph's Catholic Church always puts on a great event in Freeburg, and I want to especially thank Jeanette. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call that beautiful lady at 539-3955. The Polish American War Vets having their dance coming up September the 26th from 2 to 6 p.m. Music by Pull Toys, a 70s rock and roll band under their pavilion. Tickets are $5. They're going to have $100 drawings. They're going to have beer, hot dogs, brats. Those guys out at the Polish American War Vets, Chico and all the great guys, hopefully it'll be a successful business. They're located at 2180 North 81st Street in Caseyville. If you have any questions or concerns or want to get involved in the Polish American War Vets Dance, Saturday, September the 26th, you can call 618-398-5040. The Quail Club, Chicken and Bear Dance, Saturday, September the 19th at the Quail Club, located at 8303 Concordia Church Road in Belleville. Doors open at 5:30. Music starts at 7. A great band, the Cactus Moon Band. They'll be playing from 7 till 11. Chicken served at 6:30 p.m., $25 per ticket. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Dale at 618-806-9878. The 10th Annual Olivia Schultz Memorial Golf Classic will be held Saturday, September the 19th at 12 noon, 1 o'clock p.m. shotgun start. It'll be held at the Woodlands Golf Club. That's in Alton, Illinois. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Debbie or Steve Schultz at 618-651-9292, a great cause. September the 19th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Patriot Park in Greenville, Illinois. It's the Bond County's Humane Society's 12th annual Paws in the Park. They're going to have a pet parade, pet photos, police canine demonstration, pet nail clipping and polishing, microchipping clinic. Great time for everybody that loves animals, and for you bastards that don't, kiss my white, hairy, stinky ass. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Rachel. It's 664-4068. Scottish Rites Masonic Bodies, located right here in Belleville at 1549 Frank Scott Parkway West in Belleville, having their fish fry this Saturday, September the 18th. Or I guess that's next Saturday. Yeah, whatever September the 18th is. Friday, September the 18th, I'm sorry, from 4 to 7:30 p.m. Fish fry and carryouts. September the 11th and 12th, St. Stephen's Catholic Church in the great little village of Caseyville. They're having their fall festival, a fun family affair, chicken dinner, silent auctions. They're located at 901 South Main and Highway 157 in Caseyville, Illinois. Telephone number 618-397-0666. Last but certainly not least, the Shriners Hospital Transportation Fund. Texas Hold'em poker tournament, September the 12th, starting at 6 p.m., registration at 5. That's at the Moolah Shrine Center at 12,545 Fifi Road in St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget, you can pick us up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming, insanebroadcasting.com, one word, common spelling. You can like us on Facebook, KQQZ 1190 AM, or our sister station, KZQZ 1430 AM. You can hear our repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night, Monday through Friday at the stroke of midnight. One last public service, the Silver Creek Quail Club Forever will hold their annual banquet September the 12th. Doors open at 5, dinner starts at 6:30. There's a silent auction, a live auction, and it's in Damiansville. And we were going to talk about that a little bit later. It's their annual, doesn't say what annual, but Jerry Rosh, thank you very much for the information. On this date, September the 9th, 1776, the United Colonies became known as the United States for the first time. On this date, September the 9th, 1836, Abraham Lincoln received his license to practice law. On this date, September the 9th, 1861, Sally Tompkins became the only female commissioned officer in the Confederate Army. On this date, September the 9th, 1904, the mounted police were used for the first time in New York City. On this date, September the 9th, 1987, Gary Hart, a presidential candidate, admitted on Nightline to cheating on his wife. That's what happened on this date, September the 9th, throughout all these years in our world's history. Belleville. They're going to give $38 million in tax incentives to this group out of Effingham, the Keller family out of Effingham. Now, I've never seen such sleight of hand. They're going to give $38 million. There's going to be hotels. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. But nobody knows who the hotels are. Wouldn't you think if a developer come up and asked for $38 million, he would have his plan of attack already taken care of? But the Keller family from Effingham plans to develop up to 4. Now listen, people, get your pen and paper out. Up to 4 hotels, several other restaurants other than the, what's the name of that highfalutin restaurant? Yeah, hell, I'll get to it here momentarily. Some brew house or something. But there's going to be a convention center, several other restaurants, a convenience store, and everything across from the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows. The project, it says value tops over $100 million for all the projects. And then they're going to have 11 soccer fields. And it's going to be in Belleville. Might as well be in Allerton or Centerville, because Allerton and Centerville are only about a quarter mile from the city line. But people, when they do that for a $38 million deal, the city of Belleville, why don't you idiots, and some of my friends are aldermen, but they're idiots on this one, if you're going to spend that much money, why not own the property? Why not own the businesses? Why doesn't the city of Belleville finance the deal that the hardworking taxpayers are going to pay for and benefit from the actual operations of this whole, and I believe it's going to be a debacle when it's all over. Do you people understand? This is the other side of Belleville. It's right next to Allerton, right next to East St. Louis, right next to Centerville, Illinois, and a lot of great people in those areas, but there's a lot of crime in those areas too. People are going to come off 255, a half mile or so, and they're going to flood this area. They're going to flood this area because there's going to be a Hoff Brew House, whatever the hell that is. That's the restaurant. Going to have that restaurant, 4 hotels, several other restaurants, a convention center, and a convenience store. Hell, that's a whole town. I ask you idiots in Belleville, you political leaders in Belleville, when you do that, you've signed the death certificate for Belleville as we know it today. Do you think people, if there are going to be new restaurants, and I don't believe it's going to happen to the point that they say it is, but they're going to go to the outer area of Belleville, which is Allerton, Centerville, East St. Louis, everything is down there towards the Allerton, Centerville area. It's right on 15. Everybody's going to go there. If you want a car, you're going to go further down 15 East to the car dealerships. If you want to go to Home Depot, if you want to go to Target, you want to go to Radio Shack, Office Max, you go right there on Route 15. What's happened to the inner city in Belleville when this goes on, you idiots? You people that they call council members or aldermen in Belleville? Don't you understand that you're going to choke the lifeline? You're going to choke the lifeline out of the small businesses in Belleville. All these 5 or 6 nice restaurants, if you think people are going to flock there, what's going to happen to the inner city restaurants? What's going to happen to the inner city hotels? What's going to happen to everything? I used to go to Oliver Joseph's when they were on West Main in Belleville. I'd stop off there, drop my car off. I'd go to the restaurant around there. I'd go to a coffee shop. I'd shop down the street on West Main and over to East Main. Doesn't happen anymore. When you see a town, and this is what Belleville's become, when there's new businesses coming in. Yes, there's new businesses. There are hair braiding businesses. There's nail place businesses. There's auto loan businesses. There's Chinese restaurants. And I don't mean this as a racial thing, because it's not. I mean that's what's coming in. What kind of tax base is that going to be? The city of Belleville is being choked, people. You understand me? You need to get with your alderman and see what can happen on this. But do you understand? The Keller family out of Effingham, they're going to have 4 hotels, a big restaurant, several other restaurants, a convenience center, a convenience store, and a convention center. There goes all the banquet centers in Belleville. There goes Fisher's, there goes Belcourt. You don't think everybody will want to go out to the new convention center? You don't think everybody will want to go out to the new restaurants? You know, hey, Belleville, if you're going to give these idiots out of Effingham $38 million of the hardworking taxpayers' money at the end of the day, put it in the inner city. Put it where people have to come into Belleville and shop other places. Why? Why are you guys choking off? If you want anything, you know why they built all those homes out in the orchards? Now they've got a 4-lane highway going to Freeburg. That's so the people that live in the orchards, and there's a lot of great people out there. They want to go get coffee, they go into Freeburg. They want to go shopping, they hang a right on Greenmount Road and go to O'Fallon and Shiloh. They want to go to St. Louis, they get on 15 and travel over to St. Louis. Belleville's been bypassed. It is going to continue to be bypassed. So if you guys think that this project is going to benefit the people of Belleville, benefit the future of Belleville, you guys are nuts. Anybody got a take? We are America's voice of freedom, definitely the Patriot. You can call toll-free 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. But understand me. How in the hell are you going to shut off everything else in Belleville? Everything will be out there on Route 15. And it's not really Belleville. Anybody that says the shrine is in Belleville is crazy. It may be incorporated into Belleville, but it's not Belleville. It's not the inner city. It's not where the people hang, where the people come to shop. It's the tourists come. And I know the hotel is not always jam-packed there at the shrine. You go there for lunch, and there's a nice crowd. What the hell do you think when you have 5 or 6 restaurants there? You think that area is going to support 5 or 6 restaurants when it's right close to East St. Louis, borders Allerton, borders Centerville? I don't understand. I don't know who's making money on this play, but I tell you what, it's not good for Belleville if Belleville wants to survive. And apparently the political leaders are a bunch of idiots, and maybe they don't understand. We've got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Yes, my name is Lillian, and I was at the meeting last night, and nowhere in the article of today's paper is it printed that there was other comments made. One of my comments was I asked for the aldermen to think about requiring these developers to have a bond to ensure that we don't lose the money we've already stuck into because of the master sewer study. Last night, the sewer department asked for more money than what they've already spent on this project. And none of them had questions about that. I would think with this magnitude of money, they're spending the taxpayers' money, that they should have asked for a bond to ensure we would at least get back what we bought. And I also made the comment, you're right there on the bluffs in that. Did anybody do an archaeology study? And if something is found, who's going to be responsible for the extra cost this is going to cost for them when they start digging? And then I said, what happened to our swimming pools we were promised? No one asked the public, would we rather have these soccer fields or would we rather have a swimming pool? We were promised that Lindenwood and other people were going to partner with Belleville and we would get a swimming pool. That's been, 3 years ago? And nothing.
Lillian, go ahead.
I just think they're not responsibly acting for the taxpayers. It's our money.
Lillian, thank you very much for the call. And she's right. If there's some archaeological finds, if there's some Indian finds, I wonder if they can build on that. I wonder if they can build on that land, but that's actually secondary. It says in the Keller Group, people, you're going to give out $38 million, and the Keller family has not yet announced which brand of hotel will be built. Now, that's the biggest okey-fa-doke in the world. What do you mean? We're going to give you $38 million? Is this another Mid-America airport? Is this another Mid-America airport debacle? But when the Keller family out of Effingham, not even local, tells you and tells me, we're taking your $38 million, but we're not going to let you know what hotels are coming into this operation. We're not going to let you know which restaurants. I tell them to kiss my white, hairy, stinky ass. Hey, you bastards. Hey, you Keller Group. You'd let me know, and the good-paying, the hard-working taxpayers of St. Clair County, you'd let us know everything. You'd let us know how and why and what kind of toilet paper you use to wipe your ass. We're going to be so far up your ass. If that's what you want from us is $38 million from the taxpayers of the city of Belleville, $38 million, you're going to be transparent. You're going to let us know what we're getting, how we're getting, when we're getting, and who is coming to town. For you to say that you have not yet announced which brand of hotel will be built? What a debacle. We've got another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hey, good morning, Bob.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, listen, history itself, they said if you don't pay attention to it, you'll repeat it. I'm from a small town in southeast Missouri, and one word, Walmart. Every town, Walmart will kill 3 or 4 everything within a 25-mile radius, and they space Walmarts out 25 miles apart.
Just so they'll do that.
My hometown, the square's gone. Every small business is gone, in every town and around. They're dead because everybody went to Walmart. They undercut the groceries. They undercut, clothing and sales and everything. Everybody quit going to town and they went to Walmart.
Yeah, Keith, thank you very much for the call. Very, very good point. And that's what's going to happen in Belleville. That's what happens to all these towns. You get a big Kmart, and this is like a Walmart. I'm sorry. This is going to be like a Walmart situation, the philosophy of Walmart. We're going to bring everything. Why? When you got a hotel there, when you got a convention center there, when you got 5 or 6, 7 restaurants there and 4 hotels, why the hell do you need to go anyplace else in Belleville? You come off 255, you come down 15, a quarter, half a mile, and you're there. And you think people are going to go into Belleville proper? It's not going to happen. So you people in Belleville, when you agree and you talk to your alderman and you tell your alderman, hey, it's okay to do that, just remember that you're helping to kill what little is left in this once prosperous, thriving community of Belleville, Illinois. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station, Radical Radio at its finest. And we stand tall as the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. There's someone just happens to be walking through the door as I'm speaking. And I hope he announces on the show today, State Representative from the 108th District of Oakville, our good friend Charlie Meyer. I just hope that he announces his run for the presidency of the United States, because he would make, and I think maybe, Charlie Myers, it's a pleasure to have you here, buddy. How you doing?
Well, it's good to be here, Bob, but I guess I'll have to disappoint you. I won't be announcing for president. I've got enough things to handle right here in the 108th.
Hey, well, what about you and make Trump your running mate? That would be a hell of a ticket, wouldn't it?
Oh, I think we'd have a few battles every now and then. We're probably both a little bit stubborn.
Hey, Charlie, it's a pleasure. We asked you to come in because the people of the 108th State Representative District out of Oakville and the surrounding area in Washington County, they listen and they love you. You've done an exceptional job to represent. I've had some Democrats call me and say what a good job you've done. And when you can get people of the opposite party to compliment you, I think that in itself shows what kind of job you're doing in the 108th District.
Well, we always try to take the time to go and return calls and be out at the district and all the different events that's going on all the time. And we try, that's all we can do. We tell people right up front, there's some of them we're not able to help. The state of Illinois is very messed up. but we go out and we try to do what's right for them.
You know, Charlie, you talked about the state of Illinois being all screwed up, and I think Governor Rauner has got us on the right track. Now, I don't think he's perfect, but I think he's got us on the right track. But what really boggles my mind with intelligent people all throughout the county tell me, hey, that Rauner, he's no good. Look what he's doing to the state. And I tell the idiots, I say, listen, there's been Democratic control, total Democratic control of the state of Illinois for the last 12 years. Rauner's in. He's trying to straighten this out. He shouldn't be blamed for anything, Charlie, but I think the Democrats, they're slick at flipping the script, don't you think?
All summer long, as we sit up there at Springfield, and we have committees of whole, so we can hear how Governor Rauner's destroying families in the state of Illinois. These people, when they're asked to be up on the stand, I've known some of them. They didn't have a clue what they were really invited to come up and be in front of the House for. They came up to talk about their programs and what's great about their programs. They didn't know that they were being used by the Democratic Party to make Rauner look bad. You know, the man's not been in office even a year. For 12 years, we've been on a road of spending far more money than we've ever brought in. We've bankrupted the state. We don't have the funds to go out there and help the most mentally handicapped people, the disabled people. And we turn our backs on a lot of the parents and these children, and they're blaming it all on Rauner now when we don't have the funds to pay them. And I have people saying, well, Rauner hates autistic people. That's not the case. We're trying to straighten out the budget so we can help these people. There's a lot of government agencies set up in the state of Illinois, and they're tri-folded so that you get 3 sets of workers doing the same thing, being paid for the same thing, and all their friends making money off of it. And when it's time to help that parent of that autistic child, there's no money left. It's all going out in the salaries for people to repeat their jobs that already should have been done. We don't need all these layers of agencies. We don't need all these groups that then funnel it down and funnel it down again. We need people that do things and get the job done and get the money to the people who need it. And that's what we're trying to do now, straighten this state out so the money helps the people and the agencies that really need it to help people. And we wish that Mr. Madigan would allow us to go ahead and bring jobs back in the state of Illinois and to do away with some of these agencies that aren't needed anymore and to get the services done. You know, there's all kinds of different agencies out there doing different things. And we're doubling them up. And if Rauner tries to take care of straightening one of them out and taking the funds from that agency so it can be used for people, all of a sudden he hates people with breast cancer. We've got those funds covered somewhere else. So why do we have to have another agency to double it up? We're just trying to streamline it and get it to where the funds go to help people.
Yeah, you know, Charlie, you're exactly right. I kind of liken it. A guy's got some money, well-to-do. He's got a wife. And his wife spends, and that's okay, and spends. But then she spends him into bankruptcy, and that's about the Democrats are actually the wives of this state. They've just spent and spent. They don't care how much money's coming in. They're just concerned about how much they can spend. And for 12 years, Charlie, I hope that people understand, for this great state of Illinois with the high budget they have, with all the responsibility throughout the state of Illinois for 12 years. Can you imagine you get a wife that goes around taking your credit card for 12 years and spending it on things that is needless, and then she comes in and says, what do you mean there's no more money? What do you mean you're cutting up my credit card? I'm going to divorce you. It's your fault. And I think that's what the Democrats, they've tried to put, if they worked as hard trying to straighten the state out as they have with the propaganda war against Rauner, I think they would have done a lot better job.
Well, you know, Bob, I wouldn't know about the wife thing. I'm still a single man. So if my girlfriend's listening, I might be digging a hole right now, too. So, Cindy, you know, I'm not trying to dig a hole any deeper here. But the state of Illinois has spent money they haven't had. And the time that we've wasted this summer doing committees of whole and other things in Springfield should have been worked on real bills that will stand, that will be heard, not amendments to bills that are never going to be called. You know, Representative Bradley's called his Freeze Your Property Tax Amendment bill 12 or 13 times. Every week we get to hear that bill. it's never going to become law. Madigan doesn't want it to become law. But it's great to go out there and mail out a flyer saying, look, I've tried to freeze your property taxes. Let's have real bills where we work on workman's comp, we work on property taxes, we work on tort reform. Let's make real bills that will go forward and go into the Senate, and let Rauner go ahead and sign them. You know, people think, well, if we get a budget, everything will be great again. If we do workman's comp reform, think how long it takes to build a business. Right. You know, the Prairie State Energy Campus was 5 years in the building before we had it online. And the years of planning before that. We can't get workman's comp done and have jobs come back instantly. Instead, we're losing thousands of good-paying jobs. The high-paying jobs are flying out of the state left and right, whether it's CAT, it's John Deere. It doesn't really matter anymore. Mitsubishi, they're leaving. They're gone. They don't want to ever come back. And we continue to go down this road and follow Madigan's path that his 71 soldiers have fallen in line to march with. So this is why we're at this state now, and we have to do something to change it.
Yeah, you know, we're like a big family here in Illinois, Charlie. Whenever times get tough, you know, the kids can't go to as many ball games. The wife can't do as much shopping. We cut back on what we have on the dinner table. And I believe, you know, Rauner is the daddy of the state at this point. He's trying to pull that all together, and we're going to try to explain it where people understand. I mean, Rauner hasn't been the problem. He's created this problem, and whenever I tell my son or my daughter, hey, you can't go to the show this week because actually your mother spent all the money, but I'm the bad guy because I'm the one that tells them they can't go, and Rauner is the one going throughout the state saying how bad the state is in, the state of the state that we're in, and everybody's, trying to flip the script. And for anybody with any intelligence to think that it's Governor Rauner's fault after being in office 7-8 months, I think they're nuts.
Yeah, Madigan's always been brilliant in what he's done, and it's been a very scripted summer to go against Rauner. But, you know, in the state of Illinois, and especially in this district, the word Rauner means something yet. He's a man who's standing for his principles. And when I talk to people in my district, they're very happy with him, and they tell me to keep telling him, go on, let's go ahead. We got to do this. There's tough times ahead for Illinois, but we'll do it together, and let's make a future for our children so they can have jobs here and not move away. But the problem is that our kids go to school and they get jobs in other states. They get good jobs yet.
Right.
We've educated them well, but then they're gone, and they're not paying taxes either.
Well, there's no opportunity for them because of the 12 years of the Democratic regime. And let's talk about something, Charlie, near and dear to your heart, and I know that you won't ever leave the show until we talk about it, and that's a great cause, the Murray Center.
Yes, Murray Center is still open.
And you fought long and hard to help keep it open.
We fought very long and hard, and this past week we got a letter from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services saying that our HIPAA violations were violated at Murray back in the closure process, that the contracts from CRA and our management there who were paid the extra dollars to get the place closed, that they did do HIPAA violations against our residents and their records. We told them they were breaking federal law. They said they were representing the state of Illinois and they could do this. You know, some of these big, massive people, just for the closure, said they could go over federal law. And this week we've got the proof here to show that once again what we were fighting for was right, and fighting for our residents is right. And you know, Bob, I had a my golf tournament a couple of weeks ago, and one of the groups called me and they said, you know, Charlie, we can't make it. We've paid for our team already. They said, would the residents of Murray Center, would there be some of them who could come and golf? And I can't tell you their names on the radio.
Right.
But I had 4 residents there, and it was the one's birthday even. And they came out, and it's their first time ever on a golf course. And they golfed in the tournament. And they got a round of applause as I announced them at the beginning of the tournament that this was their first day ever on a course and their first tournament. And all the other 17 teams there gave him a round of applause, made him feel very welcome. And the one resident got out there and was driving 170 yards straight down the fairway when he was hitting it. They stayed for about 8 holes, and they all got special awards. But it was a great day for them. They enjoyed it. These residents get to go out and do things. We lined up extra help and volunteers to come in and help them on the course, but it's the family's choice and their choice of where they get to live their life and what's a good full life. So we're very proud of that fact. On October 18th, which is a Sunday, we're going to have a parade on the Murray grounds honoring the residents. The residents that love to go to parades, but there's so many of them there on the Murray grounds that we cannot take off the grounds. Yeah. So the ones who are on respirators or ventilators or anything, we can open up the windows. They can hear the bands yet. So we're going to have a parade for the residents. They're so happy. They're talking about it every day. They're thrilled with what's coming up and that this is being done for them. And so we've got all the different counties in the area are coming together to work on that. And,
Charlie, I wish, I don't want to interrupt you, but I wish we were on TV. I can see, you people ought to see this man smiling when he talks about the Murray Center. That just, if you people want to see what's going on, go out to the Murray Center. Don't be criticizing the Murray Center until you get out there and you see those less fortunate people. You understand me? And then you'll say, like Charlie Myers, what a great group of people. You can't not go out there. You cannot criticize the Murray Center until you've been out there. And once you're out there, if you criticize that Murray Center, you're a no-good son of a bitch. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio. And you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. With me, Charlie Myers. It was nice of him to come by. Anytime we call Charlie Myers, he says, Bob, if I've got the time, I'm going to be transparent to everyone. He always accepts the invitation, and I want to salute him for that. But Charlie Myers is the state representative out of the 108th District, out of Oakville, Illinois. And Charlie, I think everyone in the 108th District for this great state ought to be proud to have you. And can I ask you, Charlie, you've got a couple bills coming up, or you've already introduced about the concealed carry law?
Yes. Last year I introduced a bill where our military people would have the right to have concealed carry. They come from other states. They still would have to go through the permitting process in Illinois, but we'd recognize their military training, and they could have concealed carry with an out-of-state address. It went nowhere. I believe I was told Cullerton didn't like it. It went fairly far into the negotiated bill and then was dumped just a couple of days before we went to the House floor with it. So we've reintroduced, and under a new number, House Bill 4258, and this would allow military men and their spouses, or military women and their spouses, to get conceal and carry in the state of Illinois. We have so many wonderful people here at Scott Air Force Base. These are the people that go out and defend us across the world. And to think that they don't have the right to have conceal and carry when ISIS is out there targeting families in America that are military families. Right. And we've introduced this bill again, and we ask everybody to contact their representatives and legislators asking for support of House Bill 4258, and to please contact Cullerton and Madigan's office. Just think of the economics of Scott Air Force Base, too, how much money that brings into our district.
Right.
And these people are wonderful people that we have here in the military, and yet we're not giving them the right to defend their families when we expect them to defend ours.
Yeah, they can take a bazooka and go over and take the chance of getting killed over in a foreign land, but they're not responsible enough to carry a gun in this great United States of America.
And you know, the terrible tragedies down in Tennessee, in the shootings. You know, we've got to have our military able to defend themselves at their own homes too. Yeah. We just have to. And then also on our conceal and carry, if you lose your conceal and carry, it's a $75 cost to replace it. So we're drafting legislation to take that down to $25. There's also a fine in there of like $100 for not updating if you've moved, and so you have to pay $75 for updating too. I mean, we should get that cost down to a fair and honest cost, and that's all I'm trying to do here. It's like we want to persecute the people who have conceal and carry, and that's the last thing that I want to do.
Hey, Charlie, the people in Mascoutah, I was out there a couple of weeks ago, and they're touting you out in the Mascoutah area. There was a guardrail, a very dangerous guardrail situation out there. And the people I've talked to said, hey, Charlie Myers is up there in Springfield. He's going to get something done. And I hear there is going to get something done. Yes.
South of Mascoutah on Route 4, there is a very blind S-curve. And there is a culvert underneath it. So according to a lot of regulation, they needed to put guard railing up around that S-curve. And the state of Illinois did it, not thinking about this is a very agricultural area. It's a blind S-curve, and from rail to rail is only 28 feet in between. And when it's the farming season, the large farm equipment is going down that road, and you can't stay within just inches of guardrail when you've got a piece of equipment behind that tractor or combine. And so you're 3 or 4 feet in the other lane, and there could be a school bus or a mother with kids or a semi coming around that, not knowing they're going to meet you in the middle of that road, and you're there. And so this rail went up a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. But since then, we've got things taken care of quickly. We want nobody killed there. And I got a text this morning that said that the guardrail is coming down. We already knew last week it was going to, but I believe maybe they're starting on it today.
Yeah, well, Charlie, that's what you guys need to do up in the State House. You need to fight for your people. You fight for your people, but Madigan, Eddie Jackson, Jay Hoffman down here, they fight for the political elite. And I think the people all throughout this state are tired of the political elite. And I think in 2016, you're going to see a backlash for what these Democrats have done in this great state of Illinois.
Well, you know, within 20 minutes of this, I had talked to the Department of Transportation, started working on it. I asked the Farm Bureau to get lists of farmers in the area together, and the residents and the Farm Bureau down in that area came together and helped get this thing moving so that we could try to prevent a tragedy before it happened.
Well, and you know what? If you save one life, Charlie, everybody in the Mascoutah area, I know they thank you. And that's the problem, people. These elected officials, not Charlie Myers, who's a public servant, but these politicians, they give a damn less of what happens to us and our families. And so we got to feel the same way. Come election time, we got to give a damn less what happens to their political career. Hey, Charlie, I've had people talking about the Sparta shooting complex. Can you enlighten us a little bit on that?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that the state of Illinois doesn't have funds for. There's been a new plan in effect to go in effect for Sparta. We believe we can make that shooting complex better than it's ever been. We need to pressure Madigan and Cullerton to let us get a budget passed in the state of Illinois so we can get Sparta back open, get it turned around. You know, that the amount of business that complex brings in, and the people that stay at the hotels that come from all over the country, some come from overseas, and the dollars they spend is tremendous. And our state economy needs that. Our state economy needs all these other things that are being denied right now. So why can't we come together? What is wrong with allowing workman's comp reform and tart reform. What is wrong with letting businesses try to make a dollar so that we can compete against our other states and our children can stay here and have good jobs? We have to get this budget solved so the shooting complex, autism, and other groups do not feel the pain.
Charlie, we got about a minute or two left. What's going on? I know there's a lot of events going on this fall, and we were talking about it off the air, and I know you're going to get the heck beat out of you if you don't give us a few. You don't have a lot of time, but let us know what's going on in your area.
Well, for the New Baton JCs, they're going to have their rodeo on September 18th and 19th, and it's 7 to 9 on Friday night, and then 7 till midnight on Saturday night. They'll have a bouncy house and petting zoo besides that. Damiensville, which we always love going to Damiensville.
Yes, sir.
They're going to have their Damiensville Q and Brew on September 26th, and that'll start at 9 a.m. with a 5K beer dash. Human foosball at 12 o'clock. I've never done that, but it sounds awfully interesting. Shooting match starting at 2 p.m., the Country Barbecue Championship starts at 2:30, and the Craft Beer Festival from 3 to 6, and live music starting at 5. So you always have fun when you're at Damiensville. There will be many great shooting days coming up in Clinton County now, shooting matches, and you'll see me there because I have a gun raffle that will be on October 11th, where I'm raffling off 4 guns also. Okay. And my raffle will be after the Damiensville shoot in Damiensville that day. So, like I say, there's always a lot of things going on in my district. You usually see me here, there, and everywhere in that district. I keep trying and doing as much as I can. This weekend is, I'm hitting my calendar right now. There's a benefit for Abby Rupke up in Aveston Park all day on Saturday. There's the Trenton Picnic. You mentioned Quail Forever, and I'm being honored over in St. Louis from the Unlimited Play Group for the work that I've did for our handicapped playgrounds, because funds were being denied to these playgrounds because of the extreme cost of them. And we passed a bill that if you're going to get a state grant, you don't have to get 50% grant. Just give them 20% or whatever. But it's so costly to get a wheelchair up to the top of a slide or up to the top of a ride. And these playgrounds truly are handicap accessible, and it gives them the right to maybe only get, if it is 20%, at least it's some of that funding where they're being totally denied. And this group realized that I've been helpful with that. And so I'm going to go get me an award Saturday night.
Well, Charlie, hey, you deserve it. Listen, I may go out to Damiensville. I'm going to challenge you to come out there, and we'll have a little foosball, because the people in Damiensville, when we were out there last time, really a great group of people.
Yeah, Bob, but if you knock me down, the ground shakes when I hit it anymore,
Hey, Charlie Myers, state representative from the 108th District out of Oakville. It's always an honor and a privilege, and I mean this sincerely. The people of the 108th District have one hell of a man representing them in the state of Illinois. I know they'll keep you around for a long time. You keep up the good work. Anytime, Charlie, you need to come on the air, and you come on all the time when you have information with your people. We appreciate you. So thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
It's always good to be here, Bob. Thanks.
Charlie Myers, state representative, 108th District out of Oakville. A great public servant, a great guy. That's what we need, people. We need people. We need a Charlie Myers. Charlie Myers don't come up here in a suit and tie. He comes in with a shirt, jeans, and some boots. He's a working man. He'll remember the people of his district, and every one of these state representatives need to remember the people of their district, and not Mike Madigan and the people of Chicago. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. You know the routine. People, we have to unite. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, not as black, not as white, not as men, not as women, but as Americans. Americans in this great United States of America, we have to unite to take back our government, take back our country, because if not, there'll be no country to take back. So remember, people, the 2016 elections are drawing closer and closer every day. Hold your political leaders to the fire. Put their feet to the fire. Tell them to do what you want, not what Chicago dictates. Do what you want. And if they don't, you know what to do. In November of 2016, we can expose, we can drag these no-count, rotten son of a bitches, drag them right to the edge of the cliff. And then the fun starts when we roll these rotten bastards over that cliff to their doom, to their destruction, to their demise, their political demise and destruction, of course. Right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American Station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ.